alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, everyone. My name is Muthia Safira Lisandi, and my NPM is 234111028. In this video, I will comprehensively discuss tax collection.
Tax collection is a series of actions taken by the government through the Directorate General of Taxes to ensure that taxes owed are actually paid by taxpayers. This collection process does not occur suddenly, but begins when a taxpayer fails to pay their taxes after an assessment letter or warning letter is issued. Before collection action is initiated, taxpayers have the opportunity to voluntarily settle their obligations through several administrative steps. In Indonesian tax regulations, collection is divided into passive and active collection. Passive collection occurs when the government simply sends a tax assessment letter, and taxpayers are expected to pay on their own without further action. However, if taxpayers still fail to pay, the government will initiate active collection, which involves direct actions such as issuing enforcement notices, confiscation, and even the sale of confiscated goods. The first stage in active collection is the issuance of a warning letter. After the tax is declared owed through an assessment letter, the taxpayer is given 1 month to pay. If payment is not made within that period, a warning letter is issued as an official warning to pay the tax immediately. This letter serves as a preliminary step before more stringent action. If the tax warning letter remains unpaid, the government will issue a compulsory notice. This notice has the same legal force as a court decision and orders the taxpayer to immediately pay the tax and any associated administrative sanctions. The compulsory notice serves as the legal basis for taking more stringent action if the obligation remains unfulfilled. If the tax debt remains unpaid, the government can seize the taxpayer's assets. Items that can be seized include vehicles, electronics, jewelry, land, buildings, and even bank accounts and business receivables. The seizure is carried out to pressure the taxpayer to settle their obligations before the assets are auctioned. The next stage is the auction of the seized assets through the tax office, KPKNL. The proceeds from the auction are used to pay the tax debt and collection costs. If the auction proceeds exceed the debt, the remainder will be returned to the taxpayer. However, if the auction proceeds are insufficient, the government can take further action in accordance with applicable regulations. In addition to confiscation and auction, there is also the practice of gijzeling, or hostage-taking. This action is taken when the tax debt is very large and the taxpayer is intentionally avoiding payment. Gijzeling is not punitive in nature, but rather a last resort to pressure taxpayers to fulfill their obligations, and must follow strict legal procedures. In addition to repressive measures, the government can also take preventative measures, such as prohibiting taxpayers from traveling abroad if there are indications they intend to evade tax payments. This prevention is carried out in collaboration with immigration authorities to ensure that taxpayers remain in Indonesia until their obligations are settled. Throughout the collection process, the government prioritizes the opportunity for taxpayers to fulfill their obligations voluntarily. Taxpayers can still apply for installment payments or deferrals if they are experiencing difficulties. These requests must be supported by strong reasons and must await approval from the tax authorities. The purpose of tax collection is not to punish, but rather to ensure the continuity of state revenues. Taxes are the primary source of funding for education, healthcare, infrastructure, and other public services. Therefore, non-compliance with tax payments can be detrimental to the state and the wider community. The government also continues to educate people to increase tax awareness so that collection actions are not necessary. By understanding the stages of tax collection, we can become more aware of the importance of fulfilling our tax obligations before legal action is necessary. Thank you for watching this video. We hope this explanation helps you understand the tax collection process and the importance of paying taxes on time. See you in the next video.